On today's episode of Champion Spotlight, the time traveler himself, Cable. Cable's origins are much different than most other comic book superheroes and villains, and by much different, I mean much more confusing. So, I wish I could just say that Cyclops and Jean Grey had this super mutant baby and that was Cable, and that would be the end of it. Actually, that is the origin that most people think that they know. Cable's origins actually kind of start with the very powerful mutant Apocalypse. Apocalypse is kind of the driving force behind it all. Behind Cable's origins, his motives, and even behind his life. So, sort of stepping away from Apocalypse and moving onto another role player in the origin story, Mr. Sinister. Mr. Sinister is kind of the result of Apocalypse's experimentation, and because of that has always sort of been bound to Apocalypse. Now, Sinister believed that if Cyclops and Jean Grey had a baby, that baby would be an insanely powerful mutant and would one day be able to stop Apocalypse breaking the hold that he had on him. So Mr. Sinister's goal was to manipulate Scott and Jean into having a baby that he would then steal from them and raise as his own to defeat Apocalypse. Now, if you're ready for another twist, most believe that this is sort of what happened, but in all actuality, Jean Grey is not the mother of Cable. So now we're going to introduce to the story Madeline Pryor. During a series of events, Jean Grey was thought to be dead, and so Mr. Sinister made a clone of Jean Grey, Madeline Pryor. Madeline meets Scott, both unaware that she is a clone, and of course they instantly bond. The two of them grow to like one another and eventually have a baby, Nathan Christopher Charles Summers. Now there's a lot more twists and turns and backstories and rabbit trails that we could follow here, but we won't for time's sake. Instead, let's skip to where Apocalypse becomes aware of Mr. Sinister's plan, and so he kidnaps Nathan and infects him with a techno-organic virus, which, in the simplest of ways put, it is a virus that consumes organic tissue, converting it to metal machinery until it destroys the host. And in another turn of events, a displaced child of Scott and Jean by the name of Rachel Summers travels through time to save Nathan and try and cure him of this virus, knowing that he has the power to one day stop Apocalypse and the destruction that Apocalypse has planned in the future. Rachel soon realizes that the virus cannot be cured, and so she creates a clone of Nathan, hoping that if Apocalypse caught wind of what was going on, that he would kidnap the clone and not. The plan succeeded, with Apocalypse taking the clone that Rachel created, which one day becomes Strife. Nathan grows up to be Cable, and with phenomenal telepathic and telekinetic powers, he learns to actually control the virus before it's able to consume his entire body. This does limit some of Cable's power, as he has to focus 24 hours a day for the rest of his life on controlling this virus so it doesn't kill him. Other than controlling the virus, there's only one driving force behind Cable, and that is the destruction of Apocalypse. He hypothesizes that the only way to defeat Apocalypse is to travel into the past and beat him before he becomes as powerful as he is. So Cable uses the technology of his time to travel 7,000 years into the past. This is where we see Cable meeting Deadpool and that whole weird relationship there. Now let's make this really crazy if it wasn't already. Cable and Apocalypse meet up in an epic battle, and Cable technically kills Apocalypse, but his metal arm was severed in the process, and when Apocalypse's blood mixed with the techno-organic material, it neutralized the effects of Cable's immortality passing bullet, and it allowed Apocalypse to come back to life and merge with a form of celestial technology. As a result of this past fight, Cable himself is the person that was responsible for elevating Apocalypse from just a mutant to the power of a demigod. All of this creates a paradox in which now, because Apocalypse is infected with a techno-organic virus, he is able to travel back to the past and infect Cable with the virus, which would then set Cable's entire life into motion. Are you confused yet? Now, a lot less confusing is in-game. Cable definitely is not a god tier champion, and probably not even really in the top 3 mutant champions, but he definitely does have his uses. And he has some pretty good utility. One amazing thing about Cable is that he does have regeneration. It's not as great as a lot of other champs that have regeneration, but hey, anytime a champ regens, you really can't complain about that. A lot of Cable's specials have a chance to do something pretty unique as well, whether it's his concussion, his true strike, or incinerate. As Seaton says, all of Cable's utility kind of makes him a Swiss Army knife of sorts. I think that the best uses for Cable within the game is definitely questing. Depending on the fights, he can be very useful and he's a champion that is really fun to play with. I do not think that he's all that useful on an Alliance War defense, but maybe could do well on an unblockable L1 node, as his level 1 special is already a pain in the butt to evade. So overall, I think the best thing about Cable is just his uniqueness and his satisfyingly fun gameplay. Not to mention, he looks freaking awesome. So that's going to do it for today's Champion Spotlight. Let me know in the comments what you think about Cable, what are your favorite ways to use him, and what other champions you would like to see done in this series. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell for more awesome contest content. We got a lot of stuff coming. Peace!